I see there a lowering, riding you coffin. I see there letting down, riding you coffin. Way over in that Union burying ground.
So let's give it up for Scott.
How's everybody doing? I'm going to need a little help with the sound part of it because I have a guitar without.
Good man, you haven't succumbed to this electronic age.
I know, that's because I can't afford it.
Good man. Don't spoil the thought.
My mind wandered to the first part of the story. He was invited on board to get into the hospital. That was, you know, the very beginning of the story, you know.
You do his part. This is a man.
Can everybody hear the guitar? Good. Can everybody hear me? Alright, so it's really, this is my first time performing in 2 decades. So go easy. Last time was somewhere in Los Angeles when I was open micing, doing something, I don't know. But I saw this invitation from my friend Pedro over here. Pedro is very busy working in environmental issues locally and regionally, saving sea turtles, helping out Sea Shepherd. If you know Sea Shepherd, they do whale wars on TV. They've been working for over 30 years protecting whales and fish and fauna all out in the high seas where nobody knows what's going on, and they feed the bad guys that are going out there doing all kinds of whaling. What's really interesting about Woody Guthrie is he seemed like an all-American guy. And to be honest, I didn't really know a lot about Woody Guthrie. My family, my father was sort of a folk singer back in the 60s, but you know, times move fast. And when you're learning and you're growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you're just exposed to so many different kinds of music. There's so much going on there, and sometimes you don't have time to go back and reflect on where we've been and where we've gone and what we've gone through. But I know Woody Guthrie's been real important to baby boomers and people that came before him because he spoke for American people. And I did some research, you know, based on this, and it's like, wow, Woody Guthrie, like I know the name, and I know something, your land is my land, and all that kind of stuff, but like, what else has he done? And I was like, freaked out to find out this guy's written like 1,000 songs. He's like the dictionary definition of a prolific songwriter. And I was starting to go like, well, where am I going to start? I don't want to do This Land Is Your Land, because that's just, you know, everybody knows that one, that's great, and I'm glad I'm sorry, what was your name? Matthew did it, and did it beautifully, and you know, thank God somebody did it tonight. So I started going like, well, what else has he written? So thank God for the internet. You can go through it and you start looking and see what else is going on out there. And if you've ever been to iTunes, they play a little bit, like a minute or two of any song that you want to buy before you buy it. So you need to make sure you like it. And what's really great, if you're not familiar with an artist's songs, you can go through the whole library and discover like what their songs sound like, or if you really want to buy that song, just listen to it for at least a minute or so. So I was going through a whole bunch of Woody Guthrie songs, and I was thinking like, well, what sounds current? Like he seemed to be speaking about American issues at the time. What could he be speaking about that is current today? And I was thinking about the union crisis in the United States, where like unions are dropping off like flies, and people who are in the unions are finding themselves not popular at this time. Unions seem to be on the decline. And sometimes some people can rationalize that as like, well, its time has come. People need to be corporatized now. The unions have destroyed America. I've heard some stories about that, and it's like, well, I don't really believe that because my parents were union people. And I used to work in Los Angeles with a lot of union people that worked in the film industry. And this is what protected them and kept them safe. Because job security is really important. How can you do your job if you're not sure you're going to have it tomorrow? And you start listening. You've heard a lot of songs tonight about Woody Guthrie singing about songs about America and how hard it is to make a buck and exist in this land. And we've gone through a financial crisis recently where the banks have shown their hand, and they've shown us how difficult they can be to live with and what they can do behind closed doors and with a lot of strange language to basically make us feel small and insignificant. And I don't know if that's fair. And I really feel like if you do your American history, you understand that unions are probably one thing in America that was able to determine what the common man was able to achieve as a common force against the corporatization of the United States. So I found this song. It's called Union Burying Ground. And it's basically a story of, I guess, what was going on in the 30s during a time when people were trying to unionize. And they were getting killed for it. They're getting killed for it. People were getting buried because they wanted to unionize and organize their workplace to protect themselves. And here we are today trying to enjoy those prosperities where people who were fighting for it in the 30s, 40s, and 50s were able to get common wages and determined wages and also safety in the workplace. So they didn't die in mines. And they wouldn't die in the workplace working with dangerous chemicals and dangerous materials. So I found this song, and I think it's really good. It's got a part you can probably sing along if you like. But if not, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it the best I can. I just learned it today. So here it goes. It's called Union Burying Ground. See they're lowering a bright new coffin. I see they're letting down a bright new coffin way over in that Union burying ground. And the new dirt's falling on a bright new coffin. And the new dirt's falling on a bright new coffin way over in that Union burying ground. Oh, tell me who's that they're letting down. Tell me who's that they're letting down. Way over in that Union burying ground. Another union organizer. Another union organizer. Way over in that Union burying ground. A union brother and a union sister. A union brother and a union sister way over in that Union burying ground. A union father and a union mother. A union father and a union mother way over in that Union burying ground. Well, I'm gonna sleep in a union coffin. I'm gonna sleep in a union coffin way over in that Union burying ground. Every new bread brings 1,000 new ones. Every new bread brings 1,000 members. Way over